Welcome to the meeting on angles. I did spell angles and not angels, right? That was, wanted to make sure I got that right. Primarily, when we're talking angles, we're talking about positioning, really. And are you in the right position to have the proper angle to see the play? So that's kind of what I'm going to focus on when I show these videos. I've got a lot of videos that we've shown in some prior meetings. We're going to look at them a little differently. I've got a lot of videos that are block charge videos that we can talk about the block charge, but that's not our main focus. The main focus is how they saw what they saw, and so forth. So don't belabor the fact that, oh my goodness, how'd they get that? Or right. We want to focus on the angles. So let's get to it. Roll those clips.
He puts the shot back up. He can't convert. And now KJ Wyndham comes out of the pack with it. Wyndham on the left side is fouled.
Okay, we got double whistle. Do we see the lead on the end line and then the center by the sideline? Everybody sees that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What do we think?
It was kind of fast. Can you play it again?
Yeah, all right, I'll play it again real quick.
It went real fast.
He puts the shot back up.
This is Art. This is boys varsity basketball. This is how fast they play.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
All right, here it goes.
Puts the shot back up. He can't convert. And now KJ Wyndham comes out of the pack with it. Wyndham on the left side is fouled.
All right, so again, double whistle. One here and one here, which is okay. I'm not opposed to double whistles. But
Kind of far out, isn't she?
Why did we have a double whistle?
Should have had.
Here is, now I'm going to pause this real quick. When it comes to a transition play, there isn't really primary coverage areas because all the players are moving down. The ball isn't necessarily settled. The officials haven't got to their positions. However, you still need to somewhat stay within your primary area because you know that that is yours. The lead has what? How much of that lane does the lead have?
Half of it.
Half of it. And who has the other half? Center. Okay.
The center.
Who do you think should make this call if it's on that borderline, which I think it's close enough on the borderline that two officials could be watching it, but who do you believe to make the call?
Lead.
If you're 50 feet away and your partner doesn't blow the whistle and you're 120% sure that's it's a foul, okay, then blow your whistle 50 feet away. But your partner 10 feet away had a whistle, right? So there's no need to have a double whistle there. And it looks like the lead is letting the center take it. If you're closer, you take it. All right. So we're not going to belabor necessarily the double whistle, but what could this new lead official have done to make sure he saw the play better? Because right now he's in this spot, right?
Up. Right.
If he stops and stays, I'm going to back up just a little bit. Instead of running down, he stops here, knowing where's the ball going to go? Is it going to keep going down the court?
Sure. No.
Of course not. It's going to go to the hoop, right? Well, I mean, down that few feet, but it's going to stop at the court. It's not going to continually go down. We don't need to continually run. We know now that if the play is going to happen, it's going to happen by the hoop. So we stop in this spot instead of running down. And that way we ensure we have the right angle to see the play, right? Here we're stacked. We can't see through white player, can we?
No.
Do you know if he's holding his shoulder? I don't. It maybe looks like it is, but we don't know because we can't see. We're stacked from the one player on top of the other. If we stay, our angle is much better. We can actually see between the players. We can at least see between the players better than we can at a spot lower. So do we all understand that the purpose of, on a transition play like that, stopping and letting the play go by us? I know everyone says, you got to stay with the play, you got to stay with the play, you got to hop with the play, don't get the play behind the play. Well, Sometimes we have to get behind the play in order to see with the right angle. And then he comes in and you can sell the call and look how close he is to the call. Yeah, oh, he was right there. Right?
Mhm.
When we blow our whistle, we always walk toward the foul, and we do that so it gives the perception that we were right on top of the play. Does everyone understand that?
Nice graphics.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. When I have that video up, I can't see faces. So you guys got to use your voices and tell me when I ask a question. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep asking the question and sound like an idiot. Maybe I sound like an idiot when I don't ask questions. All right. So those are the transition plays where let the play get by you, and then you can catch up after. Then you can come in after. Let's look at another one.
The step, the foul.
All right. For those people that it moves too fast, I'm going to let it play again. Foul happens
The step,
right in the lane
the
there.
foul.
Official gets the foul. I don't know if he's calling a push or two-hand check. I'm going to play it one more time. I've seen this many times. I still don't know exactly what he called, but
The step,
all right.
the foul.
So let's look at this play. First of all, from the video angle, doesn't look like much really happened. Not much worth calling from the angle of the video. But let's look at the angle of the lead. The ball is here, which means whose primary is that?
Lead.
The lead's primary, right?
Yeah.
Very easy. So the lead is going to be primarily focused on the ball. And right now he can see right between the players, right? The lead is in the perfect place, which is why the lead is in the place where he's supposed to be. That's why it's his primary area. He can see through the players, see what kind of contact there is. The trail is going to primarily be focusing on these players at the top. And even though they're not necessarily in his area, he's got nothing else in his area to look at. So we're not going to just let him be free from doing anything, right? He's going to help out elsewhere. So his primary focus is on that matchup at the top, and he'll have a secondary focus on the players that the lead has. But let me rewind just a bit. His view is obstructed, correct? He's stacked. He can't see through the dribbler and see exactly what kind of contact is happening. We agree with this so far.
Yeah.
Correct.
As the play progresses, and we know both the lead and the trail are focusing on this play primarily or secondarily, just to give you a visual of where the ball is now in area coverage. Whose area is it? Obviously, it's the lead. And the lead is still going to primarily be watching the ball, right? Whenever the ball is in our primary, that's what we watch. Before I show you my graphic, does he still have the best angle?
Not moving.
Yeah.
Now that the ball is moved around, the defender is stacked the lead's view by getting in between. And that's no fault of the lead. This is not the lead's fault. The ball moved over. Maybe he could have come over as the ball moved, but that's just the way it is. However, the lead needs to know that he is stacked, that he can't quite see what's happening. Who has a better look?
Sure.
The trail, whose now primary focus is going to be this play, because the players at the top of the lane moved down. So he moved down with them and he can see what's happening. And he can see between the players, at least better than the lead can. So who should probably get this call if there is one?
I still say the lead.
Did the lead see what happened? Or is the lead guessing what happened?
Probably guessing.
Probably guessing. Now, here's, again, I don't want to belabor the call he made. and why he did, but just to give you an idea so you know why I'm looking at this. So I'm going all the way back. He calls the foul probably here. This is the reaction time, right? Because now his hand goes up. Okay. So if his reaction time, that's probably right around here. I don't, now again, this is just the video angle. I don't see a foul.
I don't see, he's straight up.
The step.
Right now, if he says, well, his hand was on him the whole way, then that needs to be a foul here. If you're going to call a foul because of his hands on him, whether it's a check or a slight push or whatever, then you need to call it there.
I think maybe not an elbow foul on the follow.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Which
I
would
think
make
he's
it
calling
possible for the lead to see, as opposed to body contact. So
Maybe an elbow, but now when he called the foul, there's no way he can see if he pushed him or not. He is stacked in this position. Don't guess because of what happened. Don't wait too long and say, well, I'm going to try and let him shoot the ball. And, oh, he didn't get it off, so now I'm going to call it. If you waited too long, 2 seconds after he was hand checking him all the way, I mean, you can always call what you want to call. I'm not going to say that. But
Watch the ref as he walks, after he blows his whistle, he starts walking to the table. He pushes the push thing.
it looks
Watch
like
him.
either a push or he's doing a two-hand check.
Hey, watch. Now watch the ref. Watch the ref right there.
It looks like a two-hand check signal to me.
The step.
Watch
The
him.
foul.
Yeah, but I think he called a shooting foul, didn't he? Did he call a
I don't-
shooting foul on that?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I should have followed up and checked. But my point is, does everybody at least see that he was stacked when he made that call?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's the right call or the wrong call. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if he knows that he is stacked in that position, he is straight lined, I'm going to know that my trail has got a good look at that, and my trail can probably get it. And if my trail doesn't get it, and I'm not 110% sure, then we got nothing.
Yeah, you got to pass.
It wasn't a felony, right? And I'm not necessarily a fan when guys say that or not, but it wasn't where everyone in the gym goes, oh my, right? It was, for the most part, nothing. So just be aware of where you're standing, how the players are in correlation to you, and don't just go boop. And sometimes we do it, and after we blow our whistle, we know, oh, darn it. And maybe that happened here, maybe it didn't. I don't know. My point is, be aware of the angle that you have. And he could have possibly moved to the side as the play went over. But all right. Any other questions on that, or should we move to the next one? Let me give you an example. I've showed this before. But this is an example of an actual video angle that shows you how it can be different depending on where you're standing, and what view you're looking really does alter your view. Okay, we got a little shoving, not much. We got some shoving, letting them play, and then we get the foul on the screen.
He
All
walks
right.
right into him.
Yeah, he shoves him a little, but he gets the ball, right?
There.
All right, so that could maybe be a pass. And then, but wait a second, let's look at this angle. Totally the different angle. Now, I want to say this. This is the angle of the center, but it looks like it's also from the other side. It's also the angle of the lead. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
I think it's pretty much what they were both seeing. So what happens? Does that look like a little shove? Do we think that little shove that we initially said is a pass?
Hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah, I think that's a foul.
Yeah.
That's a
His
way
arm went out
more,
and hit him in the back of the head.
way more violent of a shove from that angle than from this angle. From this angle, it looks like, yeah, okay, he shoved him a little, right? It wasn't that bad. I don't think from that angle, but from this angle, I mean, he really nailed him, and it was an elbow almost in the head, if not in the head.
And then he gets a nice little belly bump in the shot.
Right. So they did get a foul, and they got to follow him shooting. So I guess it helped him, but the lead or the center has to get that call. We can't pass on that. That's too violent of a shove, in my opinion. That's a foul right there. And give it the ball out of bounds. Yes, so he doesn't get to finish his play, but an inch higher, he hits him in the head. Maybe he has a concussion. But so do we see the difference of the angles from this angle to the other angle?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think it's a pretty stark difference.
That lead blew that one.
Yeah, the lead was bad in that game.
Good looking lead, though.
All right.
Fought for. Robinson comes up with a Hargrove going up with bad intentions.
All right, now we got 2 whistles again. 2 whistles, maybe 3. I didn't see. I want to go back. This is simply a different angle based on the replay video that they had. The first play, we got a whistle from the center in the lead. All right, center in the lead have a whistle. Are we okay with that?
Tensions and gets fouled.
I'm going to play the other angle first and see what happened.
With bad intentions and gets fouled.
Yeah, because it's kind
Pushed
of
him.
defender's area, right?
I'm not sure that this first one is even a foul. Looks
That
like
one's not a foul. He took 2 hands and pushed him.
who pushed what? Who pushed who?
Watch 34 as he's come. The guy at the ball. Watch this guy right here in the white jersey. Takes both hands.
This one?
No, the one before that. Watch 25. His hands.
Ball.
No, he didn't.
No, I
He had
think I think
his
he got
left
the
hand
ball.
was on his numbers and he pushed off on him. Watch that.
I don't think so.
I
I think he hit the ball. Now you could be right, Art. This isn't the
No, I'm just saying. Watch his left hand. The way the guy's body goes to the left.
Yes,
The
I
shooter's
think
body goes.
I think he's following through on knocking the ball out of his hand. And his hand got caught a little bit on the other hand. But if you hit the hand in an attempt to play the ball and the hand is touching the ball, it is legal. It is not a foul or illegal contact to hit the hand while it's touching the ball. Everybody agrees with that statement, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know that statement, it is. It's in there twice, actually. It's in the rule book twice. So you can, as long as you're making a play for the ball, you can hit the hand. And I think that's what happened here. Maybe he got a little bit on the wrist, but it looks like a good block to me. I think maybe the foul is what happened behind afterwards where he swatted at him there.
That's a foul.
All right. So that might be where the foul is. But I want to go back to here, and I want you to see what does the angle that the center has here. Can he see what happens?
Yes, he should be able to.
I don't think he can. He's stacked. He is directly, for the most part, when I say directly, let's just use our imaginations. He's directly behind the ball handler. He cannot see if that hand hit the wrist or the ball or the hand. He can just see the action of the player. We cannot rule fouls based on the swatting arm. If an arm swats and completely misses, is that a foul? If a kid tries to foul someone but completely misses and there's no contact, is there a foul because his intent was to foul?
No.
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 The foul is based on contact, not on intent. Correct?
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
You see look where the ball is right now. The guy's hands are underneath the ball, and the ball's going up. That was my point. See that? You can see it's right there. Boom. Got it.
Okay. Art, I will say this though. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just trying
I
to
know,
give
and I'm giving you crap.
different perspectives. But who's moving into who on this play?
Comes up with a Hargrove goal.
Did he push him, or was his hands out and then the dribbler ran into him? He swatted at the ball and then the dribbler ran into his hand.
Okay.
Right? I don't think he pushed him. There was contact. It was follow through. Now again, we're just guessing here on the video, but I think that was a legal block. I don't know if they called that one or they called the one after. I really don't know. But my point is, the trail doesn't have a good look at this. Yes, it is in the trail's primary area, 100%. But does the lead have anything in his area?
It's in the center's area.
Right. Does the lead have anything in his area?
No.
No. So what's the lead going to look at? Nothing?
No, he's going to look at the play.
He's going to look at the play. So as the center, you should know, I don't have a great look. My lead has got nothing else. He's got a good look. Let the lead take it. Don't guess. And you might take some grief. That's the one bad thing about angles and knowing when you have a good angle or not. You might get a coach to yell at you and say, how can you not call that? But if you really didn't see the contact, you're just going, yeah, he swatted pretty hard. Swatting hard is not a foul. Swatting hard and hitting him, contacting him illegally is a foul, but swatting him and hitting the ball, hitting the hand while it's on the ball, that's legal. So don't penalize a kid if he didn't do anything illegal. This is a championship game, so I watched it and clipped it.
There's Olivia Hill. Here's Labarge. There's contact. Which way is the whistle going to take us?
Okay, the official calls, watch it again. The official calls a hit on the arm.
There's Olivia Hill. Here's Labarge. There's contact. Which way is the whistle going to take us?
Do we see a hit on the arm?
No.
There's Olivia Hill. Here's Labarge. There's contact. Which way is the whistle going to take us?
Here's a different angle.
Hey, that's a charge.
Okay, watch 21 black.
What's it going to take us?
Watch 21 black. Now, I'm not saying you said, well, that's not worth calling. I'm not saying whether it is or it isn't, but it looks like the official saw 21 reach out, hit the girl on the arm before the crash happens. If that's a foul, all contact afterwards is what?
Irrelevant.
Incidental. Unless it's flagrant or intentional. If you rule it to be flagrant and intentional, you can call a foul, but all other contact after the whistle is blown for a foul is considered incidental.
There's
The
Olivia
official
Hill.
called a reach
Here's
on
Labarge.
21 with her
There's
arm.
contact. Which way is
And
the
she
whistle going
did
to take
reach.
us?
She did go into her space. She did cause contact. So if she's going to call that a foul, then the charge that happened is incidental.
If you watch that play, the girl travels before contact. I got to
We
travel.
need to be
There's
aware of
Olivia
the
Hill.
travel, too. You are right.
Here's Labarge. There's contact. Which way is the whistle going to take us?
Yeah, she
One,
traveled.
two.
You could have got away with a travel. Now, in my opinion on this play, again, and I'm not taking away if she has that as a foul. That's fine that she has that as a foul. But in my opinion, this is either a block charge play or a travel play. Because even though we're not calling fouls based on what other people think, right? We're calling fouls on how we rule it. But everybody in the gym saw that crash, and everybody in the gym, some people maybe saw a travel. That's what stood out. Those were the major contributing factors of that play. That little arm that stuck out, in my opinion, didn't really affect anything, right? So we can remove that from our ruling scenario. You guys agree, disagree?
I agree.
That's slight contact. That's what I talk about when I talk about slight contact. Slight contact, you have to allow slight contact. Unless something was done that totally altered the play, then it's not slight because it altered the play. But if there was some contact and but she went through it.
I got a question on that play. If
All right.
We're talking about positioning or angles. Look where C is. C is out of position. He should be stepping down, and then he'd be able to see what happened. Okay,
All right, so C is a little too high. Okay, so C is a little too high because
then he moves to the right. Then he moves out.
well, in his defense, you can see the lead starting to close down, right? And maybe he's picking up on that. Maybe he's moving to get a better angle.
Maybe.
And he does move into the play after the whistle. He knows he's got to come down. So that's it's actually a great point. As center, and trail for that matter. We have to have more discipline to stay in our area. Our home base, which is the center home base, is the free throw line extended. And you can go up about 2 steps, you can go down about 2 steps, but you really don't want to go much further than that. And the reason for that is your angle. The angle that you get when you have there is a different angle from the lead and the trail. If you're going to come up to the same height as the trail because you think you're seeing better, maybe you are seeing better that play that's happening, but you're not seeing a different angle than the others. And so that defeats the purpose of having 3 officials. 3 officials is just to have 3 different angles so we can catch a slight arm out that caused contact and altered the play.
I think you're better off in that position all the time. From what I know is, if you're at C there, and you're trying to get a better angle, you should step down towards the end line, not out. But
move toward the end line.
Yes, you should step down from C, not out.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I've been taught.
I agree, but sometimes you have to step out because of the way the play moves, and you need to step out again, just so I can get my angle. Oh, now I can see through the players. Ultimately, the angles we want to have is the angle that sees through the players.
Of course.
Right? And more importantly than anything else is the ball handler. If you have the ball handler, you need to put yourself in a position that you can see through the players, because that's where the swatting and the hitting and the stealing and the, that's where the stuff happens most often.
Oh, gave you a little out. Yeah. A little love right there. And then a foul on the rebound.
All right. Did you guys see that one? Now, again, this is a tough one because it's kind of a transition play. There's a rebound. The other team got it. And so the officials are kind of in a transition. We're going to mark out, first of all, what is wrong with this picture?
Got 2 trails.
You got 2 trails, not to mention, even if you have 2 trails in this, they're way out of position, both of them. Even if they're both a trail, they're still not in position. Right? All right, so here's the angle that we have right now. This is basically the same angle, is it not? The lead and the center, which is in a trail position, the lead and the center have the same angle. That's why that's why the center should not be standing there, because he's seeing the same thing the lead is seeing. What's the purpose of him being there then? If he's just going to see the same thing, then he might as well sit on the sideline. He's not helping the game at all. The trail has a slightly different angle than the lead because he's looking from that side, so he can see maybe through the players that the lead can't. Now, again, he's too far out of position. The center needs to come all the way down here, and the lead's got to come all the way down here. This is where we should be in our home position. And if you don't know your home position for a 3-person game, look it up, study it, ask somebody, because it's important in order to have different angles from your partners. All right, so now when this foul happens, what do we got? The lead's looking here. And why is the lead looking there?
It's his primary.
It's his primary, right? It might be in transition because the other team got the ball, but it's still somewhat his primary because nobody else is looking there until we leave. All right? And we've already talked about the center being way out of position. There's no way the center is going to see anything different. He's got the exact same angle as the lead. He's no help whatsoever. What does the trail have? Who's still out of position, but what does the trail have? Trail has a different angle again. Can the trail, from what you can see on this video, can the trail see through between the players? Looks like it to me. So if we come in, we move into position. If the center's here, now he's got a different angle. Still maybe not a good angle to make this call, but at least he's looking at the play differently. If the trail comes down, he still has a good angle to see between the players, but he's much closer to the play. So if he has to make a call like he did, he's not running in 50 feet to make everyone know that he got the call. Right? Now he's got to come all the way in, and I can make this big dramatic, I got the foul, but he's way too far out. I think, now again, the video doesn't show it. I can't see on the video if there was a foul or not, but if anybody knows if there was a foul on that, it was the trail, because the trail had the best angle to see through the players. We agree? No?
Agreed.
So when we are in transition to learn from this play, don't just run down the end of the court. If he just continues to run, right, not paying attention, nobody's going to get that. I'm going to assume that there was a foul there. And the trail, because he's running with his head turned back over his shoulder, saw it and got it. So that was good that he got it. He was too far away. He should have been in better position, but he got the call right. All right. Everyone understand that aspect of it? Let me do one more unless you guys want more. I got a couple bonus clips that aren't angles, but I thought they were fun. One of them was a Facebook. I don't know how many on here are Facebookers. All right. Now, this is not the best video, but I like the play. So let's talk about it. All right. It's a little shaky, so I apologize for the quality. It's the best I could get. Extra call the block. Okay. What do we see? Was it a block? Was it a charge? Did the lead have the right angle? Did the lead have the right angle?
No.
Absolutely not. Is this play in the lead's area?
No.
Absolutely not. Now, it might be, you could say, well, it's in the paint. So, okay, I get that. It's in the paint. But he's stacked. 100% stacked. Cannot really see what happened. He sees the player on the left, defender, move into, right, as he's jumping, but he doesn't really see it. Who probably has a better call on this play?
Center.
Does the center have a better angle than the lead? Right now, no. Do we see the ball? He's put himself out of position because he's behind two other players, right? So he's stacking himself. He's not in his home position. He's out too far. He's got to come down. So when that contact does happen, if he's in his home position, he's going to have a way better look at that play to see what happened. Do we see that?
Step down.
Right. To your point, Tim, he should have come down toward the end line.
Yep.
Now, if you watch this play, again, I don't want to belabor the block charge call necessarily, but if you watch it this way, what do you have? That looks more like a charge to me, just because the kid jumps in the air. That has nothing to do with it, right? So my point is, one angle, especially if you're stacked, one angle can show one thing and the other angle shows a completely other thing. If you watch the original play, watch the home bench down that side. Look at the coach. realize coaches get excited.
Huh.
Right? He's like, oh, because his angle was the second angle, and it looked like he just ran the two players over in the second angle. The first angle I could see, maybe you could make a case he was jumping over this way. So the way you are looking into a play is a huge, huge advantage or disadvantage as an official. So we need to be aware of the angle that we have and how to improve our angle. And I know we can be in a great spot, and then 2 seconds later, the kid makes a drive and we're not in the right spot. I get that. But we need to be aware of that. So as that play progresses, we can move with it. You should never officiate standing still. If you are stagnant on the court for more than a couple seconds, you're not doing your job right. Because if you're moving even just slightly a little this way, slightly a little that way, you are constantly ready to move with the play. And that's how we're going to see plays better, is by not remaining stagnant. Any questions? You guys are a quiet group tonight. I must just really be explaining well. That's what it is. How about this one real quick? I've showed this one before too. This is one of my buddy's favorite clips. We talk about it all the time. There you go. Whistle on the play. Trail comes down and sells it. He came in. All right. He's got the call. That's true. But should the trail have come and got this play? Right now, it's in the trail's area. Yes. So the trail has the ball. Right? That's his primary focus. There's the leads area. He's watching the off ball. And then we've got the trails area, who's also watching the off ball. As the play progresses, the ball comes now down into whose area? Lead. Right? So who's now taking over watching the ball? It is now the lead's primary focus to watch the ball. Now, I realize right as it crosses over, the trail is still going to probably be watching as the lead picks it up. But the trail needs to know he's going into someone else's area. I'm going to relinquish primary control of that ball to the official who has that area. All right. So now that we know it's in the lead's area, the trail moves to his off ball coverage. And the trail still gets to kind of be lazy and watch these two guys doing nothing. Then the ball comes all the way in, and there's a play to the bucket right here, right in the leads area. And the lead has what kind of an angle? He's looking right through the players, is he not?
Yeah.
Looks like it to me. He's probably got the best view out of all the officials. The trail, who's kind of watching that area secondarily, also has a very good look in between the players. They can see if there's a shove or a push or a body. The trail, because he started with it, is probably still with it, but he doesn't have a good angle at all. He's looking through the defender and can't see if there was any contact. He can guess, and that's exactly what he did. So you come in and you get that push. He called a push. It wasn't a hit on the arm. He called a push. Well, he didn't have the right angle to make that call. And I think this clip is a good example of knowing where you are on the court, knowing the angle that you have, and knowing even if you think it's a foul, first of all, you're 50 feet away. Second of all, you've got a terrible angle and you're stacked. And third of all, it's not your area. So don't blow your whistle. Don't come in and get that. Even if you have two officials, two partners that are weaker, that are newer, that don't have as much experience, and you're trying to help them, we can't just call the whole court. How do you expect newer or weaker officials to get stronger? If you keep calling stuff in front of them, they're never going to learn. They need to get yelled at sometimes by missing something, and they need to be rewarded sometimes when they get a tough call. Give them the opportunity to have that. That's my opinion on helping young guys. And it doesn't mean don't reach and help them out with calls that they should be getting. But a lot of times, again, there's no way he should have made that call. Even if he thought it was a foul, he was stacked. There's no way he knows if there was contact or not. You can't guess. You could guess in John Zump's day, you could guess because there wasn't 30 different people recording the game on their phone and then they put it up on Twitter, right? You can say this is what happened and everyone says, okay. Now you guess and someone else is going to show you, look, I was sitting right in front of it. So anyway.
Since when did we stop guessing? Is that new?
All right, that's it. Unless you have something else, I'm happy to play more clips, but
yeah, play one more clip. Josh just got here. One more clip. Anything?
Frank, you got to get a different job, man.
I'm sorry, man. I just joined. Yeah, I'm trying.
Here you go, Frank. Here's another angles play. The official calls a block.
Ooh.
Official calls a block. Now, from this angle, looks like he ran him over, yeah?
Yeah.
But do you think maybe from this angle, the official saw him slide over slightly? And I'm not saying it makes it a block, and I don't want to belabor is it a block, is it a charge? But did he see the slide over on that angle and said maybe that's why it's a block? From this angle, the point of angles again, from this angle, no doubt at all, he stood there and he took it, right? From this angle, he kind of had to slide over in order to take it. You didn't see that slide over from the other angle. So it's important, again, to know when your partner calls a block, oh, how could he call that? It's clearly, maybe he saw a little slide that you didn't see because you were looking at it from the side of the player. Possible. Doesn't mean he got it right. Doesn't mean he got it wrong. It's just he saw something different. Happens a lot. How about this one, Frank?
6-7 forward. Filet. Whether it be mignon or fish.
Okay. Block is the call by the official. Here's the angle the official has. It looks to me as though the kid, right, he has his legal guarding position and he takes it. Do we agree with this slowdown that he takes it? Yes, he got hit in the shoulder, but the shoulder is part of the body of the frame.
It's a bang.
Look at this angle. Does he slide over? Did you see a slide from the first angle? Now, again, I'm not saying that slide makes it illegal. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what that slide is, now the official sees a slide and has to think differently as what he's ruling. We didn't see a slide from the first angle. You guys understand that?
That was a tough one. I don't even.
That is a tough one.
What's the correct call on that one, that play?
Well, in my opinion, from the video, it was a charge because he established a legal guarding position and then he moved. He slid over, but he got to the spot first and he was maintaining his position. And you may maintain by laterally moving. You don't have to have 1, 2, or 0 feet on the ground. So, but my point is, as soon as there's a sliding player, that's harder to rule on than when a player is standing there and just takes it, right? When they're standing there and they get hit, everybody in the gym knows it was a charge because they were standing there.
Yeah.
So just because you saw the kid standing there and take it, and how did your partner miss it? Your partner saw a slide, and now he's trying to, rule in his head, was it a charge or a block and whatnot? So we have to be a little easier on our partners in our own minds, whether you go after them after or not and ask them about it. You can't just automatically assume they saw what you saw because angles are the king.
Yeah. That was good video, Josh. Good job.
All right. I want to play a few bonus clips.
Bonus time.
This first one I put on Facebook just a couple days ago. And I want to talk about it because we had a little bit of discussion on it. And I want to see what you all say. What happened?
Net got stuck.
The net got stuck. So what happened after the net got stuck?
Oh, timeout.
The official stopped play. Right? The net gets stuck, which, okay, that happens sometimes. And two officials blew their whistle. And maybe one blew it, but they both pointed like, oh, look, there's the net. We got to get that. Where in the rules book does it say we are supposed to fix a net that gets stuck after a shot? If you really can find it, and maybe I just have never found it and it's in there, then show it to me, because I don't think it's in there. It's not in the official's manual. It's not in the rules book. There's nothing that says that if the net gets caught, we need to stop play and fix it. In fact, that could take away, and not always, but that could take away a fast break or a quick throw in or something that this team normally does. And now you're stopping play and you're taking away their offense that they run. So don't stop. It'll eventually come down.
Josh.
What?
What about common sense?
What about common sense?
Well, that you've got that net that's stuck. I'm not going to let them play with that net stuck up in the rim.
So you're going to stop play and keep the other team getting the ball from advancing the ball down the court because you want the net down?
It just transitions, so it's no fast break or anything. I'm gonna do it.
So you're saying if you're aware that nothing is going on, you're going to take the time to take it down because you're not interfering with any play. That's what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. It's just common sense. I may be wrong.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying, and I don't want anyone who has done it to feel like, oh, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. I do. I get that whole, you don't want it stuck up there. You want it hanging down like it should. But my point is, if it's not our job, why are you adding more stuff onto your job? Yeah, you could say common sense and it should be hanging down, but do you think that the kid, and it does alter your view a little. I will give you that fact. As a shooter, if the net's not hanging down, maybe you don't see it depth-wise as much as you have before. But for the most part, it doesn't come into play whether the ball goes in or out, right? And I'm not saying don't fix it, but wait for a normal stoppage of play. Something will happen, and if it doesn't, and you come down and you want to then fix it while they're coming back down, then stop it then.
Okay. All right.
I am a big believer in, and no clinician or a signer is probably, I don't think anyone was going to say, Craig, you really shouldn't stop and fix that net. I don't think anyone really cares. But my point is, don't add extra things to do, extra jobs and responsibilities. We have enough going on, enough to watch. We shouldn't have to worry about that.
Way back when, it used to be, if it gets stuck on a shot, you bring it down once. After that, you don't bother and you don't stop it. But that's going back quite a few years.
I've heard that where I'm gonna fix it once, and if it keeps doing it, I'm not gonna do it. But then I say, then why even fix it once? Right? Either keep doing it or don't do it at all. And many of the times, from my understanding, when they get up, it's because the net really is too long. It's not the proper length. That's what someone explained to me once. So it's a little too long, so it gets hits and it comes over. That's not always the case. But if that is the case, then maybe you should fix the net before the game. Are we all going to go out there and measure it with our ruler to make sure that it's the proper, 18 inches, or I don't even know what it is? We could, but maybe that's where the fix it once came from, to say, Coach, I'm going to do it once, but listen, I'm not going to keep stopping the game. But my point is, if it's an interruption the second, third, and fourth time, why isn't it interruption the first time? Right? John's got a lot of old school philosophy, so I like that. All right, here's another bonus clip. Unless you guys have more questions about that.
I'll just throw in and say, recently at a AAU game, it happened where one of those nets snapped, and I'm 6'2", and so I'll just jump up and bring it down as I'm following the play down the court as the trail, but on what such an occasion here, I don't know, a month or two ago, the net snapped and then grabbed, one of the rings and stuck up there. So when I jumped up to get it, it wasn't coming down. So I did, in fact, have to stop play just for the sake of making sure there wasn't, a situation on the other way down. But the point's taken that I should maybe let the play develop for the offense and then, stop play when it's coming back at me. So
I do understand, Josh, that you can jump up and grab it and pull it down quick. You're transitioning, but I wouldn't, because if anything happens that looks foolish, guess who looks foolish, right? You lose credibility as an official if you jump up, especially maybe a guy who's 6'2", 6'3" doesn't have as big of a deal, but a guy who's maybe 5'10", it's got to really run and jump and get up and get it. And you're bringing attention to yourself that you don't need to bring attention to. I say, wait for a stoppage in play. A whistle's going to happen. There's not too often where a play goes on for minute after minute after minute, up and down and up and down and up and down. Usually something happens and then you can fix it. You don't need to continue play after it and say, hey, we're not going to fix it. I said, we're not fixing it. Well, no, play is stopped. So now you can do it. But if you're going to stop it, then I think be consistent and constantly do it or constantly don't do it. That's my opinion, because it's not in the rules book. So why do it if it's not in the rules book? All right. Josh, you probably have a better vertical jump than I do too. So you're probably just a little hop for you.
A little bit.
All right. How about this one?
Over to Pulse. Wentz, back to Murray. Petcash. Low down pass. Scramble for the ball. Possession favors Butler.
Okay, I'm going to play it fast again real quick, and then there's a couple things, in my opinion, that went wrong here.
Over to Pulse. Wentz, back to Murray. Petcash. Low down pass. Scramble for the ball. Possession favors Butler.
Okay, you got two whistles, which is okay because it's in that little semicircle, and you got the center and the trail look in that area. I'm okay with that. They called a held ball. You guys okay with everything so far?
Yeah. Except for it wasn't a held ball.
Except it wasn't a held ball. Not at any point was there dual possession or yanking on it, or not even like, oh, his hand was on it. So all right, a hand on the ball isn't a held ball anyway, but there wasn't even anything. So don't call a held ball if it's not a held ball just because he falls to the ground and there's a couple players around him. Oh, I don't want anyone to get hurt. But that's not
low down pass.
Right?
Scramble for the ball. Possession favors Butler.
Big pet peeve of mine. When guys say, now again, this one wasn't even close, but guys say, oh, they both had it. I like to call a quick held ball because I don't want anyone to get hurt. But that's not the rule. The rule doesn't say as soon as their two players have possession of the ball, you blow your whistle. Yeah, I'm about player safety too, but most kids, one or two yanks and the ball is free. Give them the opportunity to overpower their defender or their opponent and see who can get the ball. And if it doesn't get loose after two, maybe three tugs, then blow your whistle, right? So as in general, officials have too quick of a whistle on a held ball. But make sure that it's actually a held ball because now you've just given the ball to, I think it goes to the white team, when they didn't even earn it.
Over to Pulse.
All right, I'm going to play this out.
Wentz,
a few things
back to Murray. Petcash. Low down pass. Scramble for the ball. Possession favors Butler.
All right, so first of all, let's just play it slow again. I forgot. The ball is right there. They called a held ball, so we're going to go with the held ball. That's what they called. Whether you agree or don't agree, that was the call. No problem. So there's the spot of the held ball, which means where does the ball go for a throw-in?
End line.
The end line. So why is he passing the ball to go in on the sideline? That's lazy in my opinion. That's lazy. Know where the ball was when you blew the whistle so you can put it at the right spot. Big difference when you're 18 feet up the court on the sideline or when you're on the end line. Unless there's no press and all that. I get that. There's sometimes it doesn't come into play, but why not do it right the first time? Do we all see that? We agree with that?
Yes.
It's not difficult. And if it's on that borderline, you can go either way. I get that. But that play was clearly in the semicircle of the lane. That goes to the end line. All right. Those are my 2 bonus clips that I had. We post all these videos.
That's what I usually do. Yeah. I usually end up doing that anyway.
And everyone who is watching this that wasn't on this meeting, if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button. Click the like button. Share this video. And that's one thing I want to say to all you guys. I'm going to say it every meeting now. In order to keep growing and to get this out, not just the meetings and the rule reviews and the 5-play challenges and everything that I do that I put on YouTube, in order to get that out so we can all try and start to be on the same page, we can all start to look at it the same way, understand the rules the same way, you have to take these videos, watch them, and share them with someone else. And then that person will watch and they'll subscribe and they'll share it with someone else. And then eventually we'll get more and more people. So do your due diligence. If you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, do it. We're at almost 1,100. We're almost 100 more than we were last month. So you guys are doing something, and I appreciate that. All right, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Off and,
Well, I was late, but
late is okay. You were here before Frank. Frank came in with like 5 minutes to go.
I was glad of that. I wasn't last.
All right. If you want to see the beginning of the meeting that you were late, go to YouTube. I'll send out the email like I normally do when it's posted, but I'll try and get that up as soon as I can.
I will. Thanks.
All right, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.